am working on this staircase. So you can see I have my treads here, and I have the risers all cut too, but they changed that on us this morning. So this is just a simple staircase. I'm fitting my treads as I come down. So they are not putting in a skirt board, which is not recommended. A skirt board is always recommended, especially on, you know, a project like this. You just get a way better finish, and it's a more traditional way of doing it. So I'm putting in my white oak treads to match this white oak floor down here, mostly white oak. And I'm just doing the treads. You see, normally on a staircase, you would fit the risers first, and then you fit the treads in. And on traditional staircase building, they actually fasten through the back of the riser into the back edge of the stair tread, which gives it integrity. On this staircase, they have a plywood carcass they built for us here, which is fine, but they're having us do it backwards. So their finished carpenter is going to come in after we put in the treads, and they're going to come in and fit the risers in between the bottom of the nosing and the top of the tread, which is a very untraditional way of doing it, and it's going to make it so he's going to have a lot of weird fitting, and it's probably not going to look as good as a standard staircase, but they have a designer working on this project, and she's adamant about having it done that way, so they're going to just have their finished carpenter take care of that. So that's where we're at, and we're going to get busy. So you can see fitting into risers, you get little divots and little screws popping through. A skirt board would trim this all out the right way. Okay, so every tread will get liquid nails. The first thing I did is came through and sanded all these substrates. And we set our tread in there like that. You see I have a pretty good fit, as well as you can get up to sheetrock. Then I will push that down. Just like that. And they're going to come in and fit the riser underneath this. Now, I will drill that for some 2.5 inch 8-penny nails. And I use galvanized. Bear in mind that these treads are all pre-finished in the shop. All pre-finished. So when I nail those down, I get them started. Then I take a couple of pieces of this door skin that I have, like this, I set it up there like that so that if I slip, I can't put a big donkey hoof in my tread. Like that. And finish off that last little bit like that. Set it down and I'll fill that with some pre-finished fill. I'll go ahead and do that 6 times and this tread will be all ready to move down. Okay, I'm gonna do one tread here and do it all the way through. So I have this handy dandy little tread jig. I didn't use these for years. I used to make door skin patterns like in the boat shop. But you know, I bought one of these a couple years ago, and the last staircase I did, you can only use them on 3-foot and longer treads. But it's pretty handy, especially if you're doing them with the riser first, the way you're supposed to. So I'm using this to represent the riser, to give me something to put my back edges. So you see these 2 little back corners here. What I do is these are adjustable. It's either adjustable this way, and it's adjustable this way. And this end here is spring loaded so you can get it out. So what I do is you get it up against your board, like so. You get those 2 back corners. See this? Now I'm going to push that so it gets that bevel right there, just like that. Okay, now I got that bevel on both sides, and it's up against the riser on both sides. So I'll tighten that wing nut right there to get my bevel. And then I'll tighten this down, which gets the length, because these are all different shapes and different angles. So to take this out of here, you actually pull this spring back and lift this thing out of here without changing any of those bevels. Then I'll transfer this onto a stair tread. So I have my stair tread sitting here on the bench. Where it's gonna go, I'll line up those back edges, just like you saw me do on the stair. And I can just see I'm all different weird angles, so I can't use any factory edges. So I'm lining that up on the back edge. I'll just hold that down a little bit, put a mark on that side, put a mark on that side. So there's my tread. So I will cut the pencil line off of that because I'd rather have these slightly shy than have them too long. Too long, well, with skirt boards, they squeak on the edges, so you want a little bit of a hairline gap in between. So the way this is an old Bosch sliding compound miter. It's an old saw, I've had it over 20 years, but it still cuts nice and straight. So the way I have it set is about a 2 to 3 degree under bevel, so that the treads will actually fit in there a lot easier. If you cut them square, they tear your walls up. So the way this saw works is I can line my saw blade up on that end, and I can see I'm out there. I'll bump that out just a hair. I will line that blade right on that edge. There it is. I'm gonna cut it. You can see I kind of nibble away at that because that solid 1 1/16 oak, it'll make these cheap, this is a Diablo, it'll make these cheaper blades wander a little bit. So I just nibble it away a little. All right, so I know I need the second of the 2 lines I put on here. Way out. And there it is. Gonna cut it. saw makes a pretty nice cut. Then I will just take a piece of sandpaper and just break the edge on that a little bit. Always coming in from the grain, from the end, instead of away from it, so that I don't chip any chips out. And I'm just breaking off the hard edge there so I don't mark up the walls with it. All right, let's go see how it fits. Look at that, first try. There it is. I'm gonna glue it down. There it is. You see I have a pretty nice fit. There and over there. Going to hold it, and I'll do the rest of it. All right, 6 more times and move on. Okay, so these bottom 3 steps, you can see there it's an open-ended little staircase here, and they have a railing made to go down there. We're probably not going to see that because that's going to come after I'm all done. So they have little returns on them, and we just finish out the end grains and we glue the return on. And we fit them into the wall over here. Of course, we're fitting into sheetrock, so it's all, and there's a big swale to this wall right here. So let me show you how I'm gonna fit those. So let's take this bottom one here, and let's examine this a little closer. So when I push that into place, you can see it's about 1/2 of an inch long right there. That 1/2 of an inch. So what I'll do is I'll take this here scribe, and I've seen a lot of guys use all kinds of weird new tools now, but this little $1 scribe I bought probably over 30 years ago. I have a few of these. You can even see it's made in the USA, so you know it's old. Basically, it's like a little compass, but it's made for just doing this. So I will set that scribe at the width of that gap right there. Then I'll come over here to this side, and you can see my gap goes from about 1/8 of an inch to nothing right there. So I will take my scribe and I will scribe that like that, at the width of the gap on the other side. I'm gonna go cut that line. Let's come back and see how it fits. See, that's pretty good. I got that gap taken care of. And then over here, you can see I have a little gap there to nothing. I'm going to go ahead and clean that up just from here over. I'm going to take a little bit off the front of that, and that'll buff right in there. Just like that. Okay, so on this tread, you can see I'm very long. So I've got to get it close to where my notch is hitting here. Then I'm going to notch it around this wall and bump it in. Okay, so I trim the other side to where I have just about 1/8 or a little less than 1/8 of an inch gap there. That's what I'm going to scribe off the other side. So there's my scribe set to about the same width, a little less than 1/8. I'll go cut that line. Okay, now I need to notch it around this wall right here. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to measure my gap along the back here. I'm at 1 7/16, and over here I'm going to be at, move it out a little bit, right there, 1 7/16, right there. So I will set my scribe at that width, just to make sure it's a nice even scribe-a-rooney. Then I will scribe around this wall at 1 7/16. That. And this one here, I'll just continue this line over. So I'll go cut that, and this should pop right in there. Okay, so there's my notch. And let's just see how she fits in there. There. So we're nice and tight along that edge. We're tight all the way around that sheetrock. And our ends of the stairs have a nice even reveal all the way down. I'm going to glue them and nail them down. Stairs look great going down. Not too shabby. Nice looking white oak staircase. Not sure what we're going to end up with when they're all done. However, he's going to finish that out. But my part is done.